Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening, BSL. And good evening to all points in between. This is the December 7th, 2021 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. Glad to have you here with us. And glad to be here. I am your host and head cook, Mr. Mike Walker. That you joined us. And we got an action-packed show here tonight. And so just get your seatbelts ready and your fingers to typing, because I know y'all gonna respond today. So let's get the salutations. Shall we? Michael McKeever, glad to have you. Sister Stacy, glad to see you. Teresa, please bring us some ice cream to the after party. Thank you. Michael McKeever, yes. Suzette Riley, glad to have you here. Definitely glad to have you here. Is this your first time here? Let us know, okay? Tawanda, glad to have you here. D. Giles, good evening. Andrea, salutations to you. Christine Foster, good to see you. Jelly, so glad to see you here. Sister Madison, glad to have you here. Katie Randall, good. And Marcus Wilbanks, we got a whole bunch of y'all. Okay, Jewel Caston, good to have you. Oh, Les is speaking to us from the audience. Glad to have her here. Uh, let me see, Theodora and Tamika from North Alabama. Glad to have you here tonight. Okay, well, let's get started with this show. And let me introduce our panelists. Somebody. Okay, let me introduce our panelists, and here we go. Wait, let's switch. Okay. Let me start on my left. We have Leslie Ruth from Beham, Alabama. Glad to have her here. We got Nathan Hamilton from the Lone Star State. Glad to have him here. And I know, ladies, y'all glad to have him here too. So y'all behave yourselves, okay? Okay. We got from California, my good friend Josette. How you doing? Yes. We got from the Sunshine State. We got DeWan Jackson. How you doing, brother? And we got from good old Arkansas, the lady, the lady with the power, Tamara Miles. Glad to have you here. Wow. Okay. Well, we got a good show tonight, though. At least I think so. Let's get started, okay? Last week we had meeting in the ladies' room, and it was if you missed it, you missed a good one. It was a fantastic show, and it was moderated and hosted by our very own Leslie Ruth, and she did an outstanding job, last week. And it was some good topics that came up. But it was one topic, I guess one conversation came up, and I guess it was in reference to our checklist. So let's take a look at it, y'all.
Say when it comes to like the dating sites and Facebook dating and all of these different things, I think we live in such a culture now where we're so quick to be like, oh, I don't like the way his glasses look, swipe left. Oh, I don't like the background, swipe right. We have this swipe culture and this quick like 5-second glance culture. But I think it's worth it. Like if there's something in the actual writing of this profile that interests you, have a conversation. And so, and I say that to say, if you're out walking around in the park or in the grocery store or whatever, don't always look for your list. Because I think a lot of times we get glued right there and we miss so many opportunities. And it's just because we're like, oh, he's my height. He's not tall enough. Oh, well, he wears orange. I don't like that shirt. Or, oh, I don't like his haircut. We get that nitpicky, and as a woman, I own that. We get that nitpicky, but we have to understand that the brothers, they got their own personalities, just like we have our own personalities. So, what are you willing to engage Not necessarily saying you got to go home with it. Not necessarily saying you got to have 15 conversations with it. But what are you willing to engage? I think that's a better question than I think. To me, I think that's a better angle on
Mm. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, that was Tiffany Murphy, and she did a great job with her dissertation. So, panelists, and I see Nate already. Panelists. So, hearing what she said, are we too picky? Serious, I know we like what we like. I know I do. I'm the first one to raise my hand. I raise both of my hands. Touchdown. I know what I like. Okay, but should we do? Have a little wiggle room or something like that. So the first topic is it time to redo your dating checklist? Is it time? You know what, y'all? Look, folks, they already starting.
Okay.
We're not even 15 minutes in. Look at this. Go ahead. Joe said.
Okay. I have played with this. I have played with this like a video game for about 20 years. Okay. So I went from having a checklist to it's like, oh, he check off on everything, and it was just horrible. And then I went to not having a checklist, which meant I was dating homeless people and jobless people and everything. Okay. So I got to I put the checklist to the side, and I was open minded, and I was bringing people over from other states, and just, oh, I live in a VA's house, the VL, the veterans. I done got another homeless one, y'all. I mean, people started look. So then when I grew inside, right? When I grew inside, I got connected with myself and got closer to God. For whatever reason, everybody started looking good. The man at the bus stop looked good. The bus driver looked good. The midget looked good.
Oh no! Oh no!
I mean, everybody, the drug addict, everybody looked good, and it was just that there was no more checklist. But I think what happened was God started showing me the inner person of those people. Do you get what I'm saying? So I wasn't seeing, I wasn't seeing, I wasn't seeing the dirty feet or the dirty draw. Sorry. I wasn't
Mm-mm.
seeing I wasn't seeing what was walking or sitting or standing or talking to me. I was seeing their inner person, and everybody has something good inside of them at some
Mm-hmm.
point.
Mm-hmm.
God bless us all with something good, and that's what I was seeing. So after I pushed all of that stuff to the side, because I was tired of the homeless and the ghettoism and just the weed smoking and the dread tangling, and oh my God, I went through just, oh Lord. And there is no more checklist. There was no more checklist. What I prayed about was, God, bring to me somebody that I have certain things to offer, and I want the same things that I have to offer. I want that in a man. So what I have to offer is, my who I am. I want that person to be not just like me, but have those same things to offer. And that was when I met somebody that was really amazing to me, more like a soul partner. But you're gonna go through a few homeless ones first. Got to, y'all got to experience that. It's funny, it's fun, y'all.
But Joe
Get to hit
said,
them with a stun gun and all that.
"Oh my God, you know what? Oh, this is." But but what was the breaking point for you, Joe? What was the breaking point? What made you say, you know what? I need to stop this.
um, Listening to a lot of different people through this group, really. Um, I don't know what the breaking point was. I was just tired of getting sick and tired of being hurt. I was getting tired and getting sick and tired of being disappointed, let down, lied to. I was getting tired of being and sick and tired of meeting angry men, hurt and broken men, that didn't know how to heal, didn't want to heal, didn't have the desire to heal. I was getting tired of meeting people that did not embrace God in their heart. like I did, and all of that wore me out. And for me, I function much better being alone. And if you're not gonna be my partner, then I function better alone. Period. And it was that the breaking point was just I don't even know what it was. I don't even know how that just when I met somebody that I really thought that I really liked and I found out that they were married. That was the breaking point.
I get you.
And for me, because I know that when I'm gonna speak this into existence, when I get married, I never want that man to cheat on me, so I wouldn't cheat on him. So when I found out this person was cheating, I already knew that I was dealing with the wrong person. But when I found out he was married, I knew that I'm not fixing to be nobody's side chick. So yeah, that was the breaking point.
I hear you. I hear you. Tiffany Murphy says there is a difference in a preference and a list. Preferences match your likes and complements you as a person. The list is the superficial stuff. Okay.
And I
And
played with all of that stuff. Like I dated Caucasian men, Oriental men. I think I was up in Alaska for a minute. I don't know what was going on, but it was just, I tried to my just poor little heart couldn't try no more.
bless your heart. I know, bless your heart.
And with that, I'm muting.
Sheila Penn from McCalla, Macador. I was very specific and confident regarding what type of husband I wanted, but only recently began to truly understand what type of wife I want to be to that husband. Change my overall perspective and my checklist.
Ooh, that's good, Sheila.
So, who else want to adjust their list, or you just gonna be obstinate and say, no, I'm gonna stick to what I want?
I don't think
go ahead.
Because you ladies first. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think when we were talking about that last week, and I think I also stated I understood what I need. I understand what I need. Especially when you've had it in some form or fashion. I think I talked about the organic relationship and something I've had and how you want to feel and how you want that relationship to be in that space. It's like, what it feels like. Even though that relationship didn't work out, I know what a good relationship and how it works with me, how it gels, how it moves. So that's what I want. But, there's all these other factors. You want someone who wants the same end goal. You want the marriage and the certain type of lifestyles you want to kind of be in sync with. But, which is all those other things that matter, but are not always priority. Because to me, what is priority is that friendship and that relationship. All those other things kind of work themselves out. I think some of them do. Most, some of the other things. But, it's not anything specific. It's not like he has to have a certain type of job or I'm letting go of the height. He don't have to be a certain specific height. It's really hard for me to say that. But or skin tone or hair type and all those kind of things. Some women, I want the beard and the bald head and all this. It's about how me and that person relate, how we feel in each other's presence, how we empower, how we support, how we lift each other up, how we communicate, how that all comes together, how we can have that joy and that peace together, and it just comes together naturally. You just, and I think that's what I want. And I don't know what I've let go of so many other things. Like you had a checklist. Oh, he had to be since Ty. Oh, he had to be talking to Bear the sweet as the juice. Oh, he had to be chocolate. All that. Look, that's old school stuff. That's all back in the day. I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like and to be in that place. I know the peace and the joy and the love that I felt in that space. That's what I want. I don't know what it looked like. Oh, I mean him. That person looks like. But if that person comes in a package that I'm not used to, and I feel that I'm riding it out. I'm riding with it. He may be rich, he may be short. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. And let me read this, and then we'll go to Nathan. DJ says, bottom line, both parties have to be willing to put in the work to establish a healthy relationship. And Andrea Jenkins said, when it comes to attributes that are more physical or changeable or chargeable things, I think we can be more open. But when it comes to character, integrity, and spiritual traits and standards, those areas may be non-negotiable. Okay, Brother Nate.
I don't think, for the most part, there's a problem with having a list. Where it says "Write your vision, make it plain." You have not because you ask not. So you have to have some starting place. What is it that I need? What am I looking for? But if you have a list, you have to be willing to understand how long are you willing to wait to get everything on that list. Jacob, for example, wanted Rachel. He ended up with Leah, but he waited long enough to get Rachel. So are you willing to wait 7 years, 14 years to get what's on your list? Or are you willing to look inside, do some self-reflection, see, okay, what is it about me that I'm willing to adjust, that I'm willing to mature in, that I'm willing to grow? And then as you grow and mature, your list is probably going to adjust based on your growth level.
Okay. Sally Seymour says, I desire to have a provider, a protector, God-fearing, loving, compassionate, and communicator, lover, and friend. I'm willing to give the same. So
that's a checklist.
That's a good checklist too.
That's almost basic. That's mandatory.
Okay. But some people tend to overlook that sometimes.
I mean, but if you're dating for marriage, and you already have a quote unquote list in places like Ephesians 5. So if I'm dating for marriage, I'm looking for the kind of wife who's going to have those qualities that Peter talks about, or that Paul talks about in Ephesians. If I'm going to look for that kind of wife, then I also need to be that kind of husband. I know I'm not trying to meet somebody and get married tomorrow, but my goal is to look down the line. If I'm meeting her, does she already possess some of those qualities to be willing to submit to the Spirit and to me? Is she willing to allow me to love her as Christ loves the church? If we can't get the basics down, then none of that other, how tall is he, how she look in the sun, none of that other stuff is going to matter if we don't have the basics down.
Yes, and who else willing? Well, who else want to touch upon this?
I'll touch upon it.
Yes, sir, Bro Jackson.
So I think Rochelle, she put a comment in there earlier about when you grow older, your list change.
Right.
So like 20 years ago, I was looking for a Latina with long hair, looking like J-Lo. And I was like, okay, that's what I don't care if she broke or not. She looking like J-Lo, that's it. But now it's like when you grow older, you get seasoned. You want something with substance. You don't want something that's fleeting. You want something that with quality. Right. So when you grow older, your list changes. Everybody has a list. People will be like, oh no, I'll date anybody. No. You do have some particulars that you're looking for, and it's best to find somebody who is on the same level as you are, because I feel that if you're not on the same level, it'll be more difficult down the road if you're dating for marriage. And then I wrote down patience is key. Because you have to be patient, even though I haven't met anybody for a couple of years because I'm looking for that one. I'm not looking for many. So That's my my 2 cents on the issue.
Mm. You're looking for that one, not that many.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a big difference, though. Tamara Miles,
Yes, sir.
please share because you are grinning. Please share, please.
Well, I'm not dating to marry, so I don't have a list
Mm.
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 Mm-hmm.
now.
And see, and that's her preference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Comes out and that's what comes out in the beginning of the conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So she's already open about that. Don't come to me with all that.
Mm.
I've,
I ain't trying to
that's always been my stance. I'm not dating to get married.
What you
Marriage is
said?
not. Marriage is not. I don't care about that. At this point, I'm enjoying living my life the way that I live it. Uh, no one has any expectations of me, and I have none of anyone else.
Mm.
I do what I want. He does what he wants, or they do what they want. And when I get ready to pick up my phone and say, "Do you want to hang out?" That's a wrap. That's it. I like it like that.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.
That's all about that communication. You gotta communicate and let people know what you're looking for and what you want.
And you know what? Just like Dwan said, and up front, first conversation. Because like we always do when we hit those single sites and what have you, and we finally get to talk to each other. One of the first lines that come out of our fingertips is, well, what is it that you're looking for?
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for?
absolutely.
And of course, sometimes it's that same generic answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for that help meet. I'm looking for that special someone. But instead of giving those answers, let's be honest. Just say, hey, I'm looking for someone. I'm not dating to marry. I'm not dating to marry. I just want to date, hang out. I don't know if I should say this though, because they'll run me off the air.
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
Go ahead and
Let's
say
go
it.
ahead and say it.
A benefactor.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I like. You know what? Bar. No, that's what I'm using.
well,
Yeah.
a bit of I mean, you're looking for someone to give you due benevolence. I mean, I'm not encouraging that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. At least, you know what, y'all? Come on now.
Go ahead, get that logo.
But
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
At least,
I
be
get it.
honest.
You're honest. Yeah.
Okay, I thought this was a Christian group. Okay, so I'm ready for it today. But I'm just saying, I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying, quit playing games with people.
Right. Yeah.
You
I met a guy that he told me that we communicated in about maybe the third communication. He told me that he was celibate. So I asked for clarification. And then he said, okay, I'm abstaining until I'm married. And I said, well, you're not the one that I want to date.
Oh.
He didn't understand that, but I told him,
see,
I'm not having sex because I'm not in a relationship. I'm 56 years old. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You, sir, are waiting. It could be 10 years before you get married. I'm not willing to waste that kind of time. So that's where I am. So needless to say, we're still okay, friends, but nah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me turn this heat off. But okay.
This should have been off before we started. My ceiling fan been on the whole time.
My AC on 71.
Hello.
Okay.
I knew what was going to happen.
Oh, it's going to be this kind of show. I can see it now. Oh, boy.
Bring it on. This
Tiffany.
Oh, goodness. Hold on,
Tiffany, think about it like this. Some people like their gifts wrapped and filled with pretty bows. Some just want a bag and some tissue paper. And some you want the gift tissue, not TP. But anyway, and some just want the gift. But if you like it with the shiny paper, and someone gave it to you in a brown bag, you will look at the gift differently. Well, will you look at the gift differently? A lot of folks wouldn't even entertain the gift in the brown bag because they think it doesn't have the same value. We are guilty of doing that with people too.
Because we all got preferences.
Right.
We all got preferences.
I love the way you put that, Tiffany. Go on, girl.
Yeah,
Go
that was a
on.
good
Now,
one.
I'm looking at paper bags altogether different tomorrow, baby.
Girl, that diamond can be in that little craft bag.
that crap. Oh, okay.
You know, a little paper bag that like they call them craft. You know, when you go to Hobby Lobby, they call them craft bag. But anyway.
Okay, but now I got a quick question from Rachel Denise Carey, and it's for the brothers on this panel. And I'll lead by example by answering first. How does a man know he is ready for marriage? Okay, I'll answer first. And I'm just speaking for me. And I'm speaking for me as a man of 52 years. I feel that when I'm able to provide for her, not saying that I'm gonna be ruling because I have money, but as long as I'm able to provide for her financially as well as emotionally. And that's the key right there. I got to make sure I'm emotionally ready for marriage. I could be a billionaire, but if my emotions and my spiritual man ain't right, then I'm no good for anybody. I mean, I'm not good for myself, much less the future Mrs. Walker. So that's my brief answer right there. Brothers, go right ahead.
I think that along with your words, emotionally, but also spiritually and financially, because you gotta make sure your credit's right. You gotta make sure you got bills in the bank. You know, some money in the bank. You have to be prepared for marriage, because marriage isn't something that you're just gonna walk to date somebody, walk into. Hopefully this is for life. So you have to prepare yourself for that. And it takes some, in my 45 years, turning 46 December 31st, New Year's Eve. Hello. I've been preparing for this for the last couple of years, trying to get myself situated as far as, looking for houses, promotions in my position where I currently work, saving some money in the bank. So you have to prepare for marriage. And then you shouldn't have to worry about the woman that you're supposed to marry, because God got that. God already has that person in line for you to get married. So you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure you're okay with yourself emotionally, spiritually, financially, and then everything else will fall into place. That's what I think.
Okay. And Brother Nathan?
I know I'm ready for it because, first of all, I desire it. It's what I want, what I think I was created for. Beyond that, then, as the brothers have already said, am I mentally ready for it, no matter how bad I want it? I mean, as a kid, I could have wanted a 10-speed, but I wasn't ready for it because I wasn't tall enough to reach the pedals. So no matter how much I desire it, am I financially, mentally, emotionally healed from all these other relationships? And is she what I'm prepared to take care of for the rest of my life? So yeah, it's a process, but the fact that I know that's what I want is what moves me toward the other qualities.
Okay, that's good. And hope the sisters like this now. So don't be surprised Dwan and Nathan that they hit y'all up in y'all inboxes.
Why you gotta call?
Why you got what? Wait, hold up.
Line up, ladies. Line up.
You too, Mike.
Can we
Don't
go?
be holding out. You too, Mike.
Can we
Mike,
go?
yeah, Mike. Y'all gonna have to end this with a shoot your shot.
Uh-huh. Hello.
Go to the next topic.
Wow.
Hey, if you're ready, hey, your queen could be watching. The lady of the future wifey could be watching. Let her know where she gonna maybe relocating to. Where you located. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, and she may be out here saying, "Hey,
Are you interviewing now?
huh?"
You done turned this into an interview now. So
No, we just setting up the opportunity to happen at the end of the show.
Okay.
Leslie.
Helene says, I'm wondering if the expectations is why we don't get it. I've always wanted marriage, but ended up with the one that isn't ready for it. Okay. And I think we got one other one. And at Nathan's request, we will move on to the next topic. But Ithaca says this is grown folks talk that we need amongst Christians. I'm glad you feel that way. You know,
Thank you, Ithaca.
some think we commit the unpardonable sin by the things that we're talking and discuss. Ain't that right, Tamara? They have a fit, don't they?
Yes, they do. And damn you to hell.
We demons and
Yeah.
what's the other ones? And Ferris,
What's that? Swords of discord.
Yes, and everything else, and
whatever.
Not I.
I
No,
said
not
that
I.
before.
Not y'all either. No.
Oh, they would have really been talking to me if I had my glass of wine. But
Not y'all.
and time out for sugarcoating and pretending that we don't entertain these thoughts and act on them as well.
That's
And
right.
and again, we're not
They must be.
encouraging it.
They must be
but-
Jesus's. Are they Jesus watching?
You know,
Are these
and,
little
I'm
Jesuses?
and none of us was born saved. Okay,
Right.
I want to make this perfectly clear. None of us was born saved. So we gotta think about that. As long as we on, and again, not making excuses, not encouraging lascivious behavior. But as long as we on this side of eternity, this flesh is weak.
Amen.
Plain.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Now we need to do our best to, stay away. So anyway, Tiffany says she's done with her dissertation. We got
We
a lot
loved
of
it.
them
Thank
in
you,
here.
Tiffany.
Yes. And guys, Sally Seymour says, guys, I didn't get married until I was 50. I was living that single wild dating life until I got married. Now, since my divorce of 5 years, I have been practicing celibacy, for 2 years now. It's hard. I'm lonely, but I'm not alone. I want the touch of a man, but I'm waiting for that spiritual man.
All right now.
All right.
Say-
All right.
No shame in what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Just be doing with it, day by day. Okay.
And like I said,
Hey,
thank
Wanda.
you. Hey, Wanda, you gonna need to join us one day. Okay. And wait a minute, she's from Dallas. Okay, she lives in Dallas, Texas. I'm just saying. But
Who was in Dallas? In
I
Nathan
didn't
and
say
Nathan?
that.
Nathan,
I
ain't
didn't
that
say
you?
anything. I didn't say
Ain't
a
that
word.
I'm not in
Oh.
Dallas. I'm in Houston.
I know where you, but I know where you live at. But
I can help somebody
Next topic.
work it out. They be round the corner. Okay.
listen, Rachel Denise Carey said, "Thank you guys. We love these comments. I mean, this is a good discussion, though." Okay, and marriage is marriage is a choice. She used to live in Birmingham. Marriage is a choice. God gave us free will. God should be consulted in all things. Absolutely. Brunette says she's listening. Wow. Okay. Tiffany says it's better be a Dewan than Nathan Datathon. Okay. Those are her words,
Yes,
not mine.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Tiffany, why you
Yes,
start? Why you
yes.
starting,
Yes.
Tiffany? Why you
Wanda,
start?
hey girl.
Okay,
Who's in
there's no
Houston?
need to line them up.
I need to
Next
get the
topic.
drum mix.
Yeah,
Next
we
topic.
go hit the next topic. Okay, we just try to get everything. Okay, y'all. Wait. Sally says I need to feel love. Hey, you preach it to the choir about that. I understand. Like I said, we still human though. Okay, and before we go to the next topic, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share. Okay, don't forget.
Okay.
And also, if you got some change laying around, don't forget to send us a few stars. Okay,
Mhm.
that we could get some penny candy with that or something. You know, if it still costs a penny. But anyway, next topic. Next topic. We got so many next topics though, y'all, and I don't even know where to begin with this one. Uh, Give me a few seconds. Okay, well, we'll do it this way then. We were going to talk about this topic last week. Well, not we, the ladies were. And this is an interesting topic because last week's moderator suggested that this would be a good topic since we have both men and women representation here. So, and I'm going to be obedient because I don't want any trouble. So, the topic is, folks, what does, quote, what do you bring to the table, end quote, really mean? Now, this question may sound simplistic, but when you look into the deep root of it, what do you bring to the table really mean?
It means getting to know yourself.
Mm.
What you need to know what it is that you have and what it is internally, spiritually, financially, emotionally. You need to know what it is that you have already and be confident in yourself in order to know what it is you're putting on the plate and on the table. Like an example for me is like I know that I'm a strong-willed woman. I'm very independent, but I had to know that and feel that, and embrace that about myself before I could know, like, okay, hey, this is a good quality, and this is part of what I bring to the table.
Mhm.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Go
I'm
ahead.
with Kitty. I don't like that phrase either. I'm with Kitty.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't particularly appreciate the phrase. However, I do understand when a person asks that, they're asking you, "Do you match me? What do you have to offer me? What do what even what tangibles do you have? Not just emotional, but what tangibles do you have?" That's how, when I hear that,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I believe they're asking. What you got? What you working with?
Mhm.
And
That's how
and
I see it.
for years, that was my same concept of it, and that's why I don't really like that question, because to me, it sounds more of it's a gold digging phrase.
Mm.
But I try
Mhm.
to take situations and turn it into something positive, and that was why I refer to my emotional part. What am I bringing to the table emotionally? Do you know what I'm saying? Know how do I know myself and what it is that I'm bringing to the table? You have to be a strong person in order to be able to get out there and be good financially. But I just personally don't like that phrase either.
Isn't that like a old school, like early 2000 phrase? What do you bring to the table? Like it seems
Nah, that's
outdated.
been around in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah,
It's been around.
yeah, it seems outdated. So somebody using that
Mm.
term is like,
We didn't hear that.
I think the phrase has changed.
Mhm.
Our language, our slang changes. I mean, when our parents were courting, the mamas and daddies at that time said, "Well, baby, can he take care of you?" That's what can he bring to the table? Can he take care of you? That's what the
Mhm.
mamas were asking the daughters about their potential mates and things like that. So what do you bring to the table? Someone had just stated, are you an asset or a liability? I don't think it's gold digging. Can someone bring to the table, like what I said earlier, the lifestyle? Like, what do you want to do in life? What brings joy to you, and can you afford it? Can we afford it? You know what I'm saying? Can we do something together, or is it gonna be the burden of that always gonna be on one person? And if it is, let that person make that choice and don't give them the illusion that it's not like that. There's a song by Lettucey. Okay. Add to me. And she says, clothes, rings, and all of them mean nothing to me. I need more. What you offering me? Yeah, all of that can go. It's you, what I want. It's deeper than material things. I need some relation, good conversation. Give me stimulation. What's your motivation? How you going to add to me?
Mm-hmm.
What you going to bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
And that means differently for different people.
Yes.
How your table is set. Because, it means differently. Some people say, just bring me some paper plates and some paper fork. Well, no. I need, that's cool for every now and then. But if my goal in life is to have a full set table with all of the eating utensils and all of the glassware, the water glass and the wine glass, the butter knife and the little, dessert.
And the China.
You know what I'm saying? If it's my goal, that's the thing about it. We talk about what do you bring to the table? What are you aspiring for in your life? And can this person walk with you and journey with you to that point? They may not be there at that current day in time, but do you both desire the same aspirations? Because if you do, you can come to the table and work together and make that happen. But if you're not already on that same level, like, man, I want to have this in life. I want to travel. I want to have a beach house. I want to have this and this. Okay, well, hey, you working hard, I'm working hard, and we can work together and make this happen and be on one accord about that and all of that. But those are just superficial things. That's just the materialistic stuff. Cheese knife and the charges, baby. Yes, and the napkins with the rings around. All that. Whatever you're trying to aspire to have for your life, whatever it looks like, can they bring it? And then can you both have it together? Can you bring it together? So, because
So, and I've heard people talk about what your example, they call that struggle love, because one doesn't have what the other has. So that's struggle love. I don't understand.
I wouldn't say it's struggle love.
I don't know. I mean, because it makes more sense to, if you talked about your aspirations and you can see how you can go this way and he can see how he can go that way with you, then it makes more sense to have a goal, have something you can do together. So I agree with what you're saying. So when I hear they say it's struggle love, I'm like, how is that struggle love? That's like work. You're working together for a common goal, but I don't know.
You know what? Okay. Yeah, that's a word you can use in your 20s. You imagine now, go back. Some of us who may have went to college, came out with student loans, could barely afford the little car we had to put gas in the car we had. We came out, we got a job, we had student loans, we had an apartment, we had all these bills we had to manage. We were struggling. But you had aspirations, you had goals, you had a skill set that could take you to where your dreams were leading you. And you just wanted someone to dream and live this life with you so you can both get to where you both want to go. Yeah, you're both coming together, one household, struggle love. You have children. I mean, I can see as you got through those times when things were tight, but you worked together to make it, to get to your dreams were leading you. Yeah, I can see that. We call this, I don't know what it's struggle love, just living life. Just living. I
think that's what that is.
Like some rapper probably coined the term and now we using it, but it's like, it's not, that don't sound cute.
But you know what? I've heard it in our group, and it's mainly because a man doesn't have, or the man makes less money than the woman, so that's called struggle love.
Yes. I remember that being talked about. Yes.
So they don't believe. So they believe you have to have everything in place right now, because if you don't, that's struggle love. You're gonna struggle.
It's a thin line there. It's a real, you take it, that's some straight up risk management right there. Because you have to, if you encounter someone, it's like you have so many people say, I want to be a star, I want to be a singer, I want to be this, I want to be that. It's like, what was that movie, Acrimony, where Taraji and the guy, he had this dream and all that kind of stuff, and she fought and fought and fought. She struggled in that movie, but she gave up, and then he went off and made it big. So it's like, how do you manage that risk? Because the timeline can look different and end up being different in so many places, in so many ways. So
the men do it. Men do it all. Most men don't require a woman make. She can make half of what he makes, or a third of what he makes. If he wants her, he wants her. But on the flip side, a woman requires that a man makes this, so if he doesn't make what she feels like he should make to sustain her lifestyle, then that's a no-go. And I see it all the time, and I just see it all the time, and I'm like, wow, that's why you ain't got nobody. I mean,
but you also have to look at, but you're right, and you also have to look at the statistics. That
I love the comments. The higher
percentage of Black women who are college graduates and have masters and postgraduate degrees than men. So you're going to have some disproportion there because of just the amount of education that most Black women have that Black men don't have. So we have to come to the table differently. My mom went to college when my dad did, but he was a provider. He was the main one, and she was a housemaker. She was the one taking care of us, but he was the one working at the phone company. So you have to come to the table and not look at all those degrees, because there's some men out here who don't have not a degree, and they make it way into the 6 or 7 figures.
Right.
So you have to look at the person. You have to look at the person and see what they're capable of. And sometimes, you can struggle. You can struggle because things don't always, the ends don't always meet sometimes as you're dealing with the dream that you're trying to make. But it's hard. It's hard for people who are in that space, who want to be entrepreneurial and all of that stuff, and you don't have benefits, and you're like, how are we gonna do this and that and all? It's hard. That's hard. But you choose who you love, regardless.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very true.
It requires lots of prayer. Lots of prayer.
A whole bunch of prayer. Okay. Well, that was good, y'all. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay. I think this might be the last topic of this evening.
Give us a good one, Mike.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this right here. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one right here. Okay, here we go. Say you go out to the restaurant. Y'all. You go out. With some people. What y'all laughing?
Don't do that one, Mike. Don't do that one.
Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, come on.
And then just say all of us, 6 of us, go to the restaurant, and they decide to have one bill, okay? And we want to split the bill. The problem is, how much you ate and drank. The bill is $600. Well, no, let me do this, $1,000. But you know what you ate, though. But you still expected to split the bill. How did I come up with this? Well, I'm glad you asked. Y'all ask good questions.
No, we ain't doing that.
Listen, okay. This came from a tweet, a now deleted tweet, and it goes as follows. No, that's it.
Who little baby is
Wait a
this?
minute. Wait a minute.
No,
what?
no, that was last. That was from last. That was from the men's part. I am so sorry. It ain't
Oh,
bad though.
gosh.
Here it go. The bill came to $1,017.68. Here comes these two. Like, I only got a drink. Then, sweetie, why did you come? Never will I go to dinner with female dogs other than my friends again.
Who goes out to dinner spending $1,000? That's groceries for like a couple of months. What the heck?
Hell, there you go. There
I
you
know
go.
I wasn't saying I do. No, I don't. I'm not darling. I wasn't me volunteering for that.
I mean,
No.
that's $1,000 for dinner.
I will speak on this though.
How many people was it?
Now, you know what? That's a good question. Honestly, it's a lot. In fairness, there's a lot of information
I
left
wouldn't
out.
even concern myself.
No.
But even then, if they just got drinks, why are you expecting them to pay?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
part is
Like
I'm kind
they
of
ate
baffled
food.
at that. I'm baffled at that part right there.
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't expect y'all, if my meal or entree costs more, what's the majority of it, I wouldn't expect y'all to say, well, to split it evenly. That's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So
That's why you have a calculator on your phone.
Joe said, go ahead.
so
I'm sorry, Joseph.
because I've been in this situation a few times, and this has been like it with a group of friends, recovery friends, or a group of friends being church friends or whatever it may be. I have been in this situation a couple of times, and for me, I don't go to dinner with a group of people unless I can afford to pay mine and the person on the right and the person on the left. That means if somebody needs help, I'm able to get it for them, so that there is no big tee, there is no ta-da, nobody needs to be embarrassed, nobody needs to be left out, just for me. And I have paid for others, whatever, in that situation. And I do that because there was a time in my life years ago when I was that one that couldn't afford to pay for my whatever. So for me now, having experienced that, for me now, I have no problem with paying for myself and 2, 3, 4 other people, and I'm not going to go to the dinner if I can't do that day.
You see what Tiffany wrote.
I love it, Tiffany, because you can. Think about it, Mike. If you go to Perry, if the 6 of us went to Perry's Steakhouse, and we all had the prime rib, and we had the entree, the little side entrees, and then we also had a few 4 or 5 appetizers, and 3 or 4 desserts, that could easily be a 400 or 500. No, 600. It could easily be a $600 bill. But you came in and said, "I'm on keto, and I'm only going to eat. I'm gonna get the roasted broccoli. I'm sorry, the roasted Brussels sprouts and a Caesar salad. You gonna pay $100 for your $30 meal?
Okay, wait a minute. Are we not? Are people no longer, when they go out, are they not looking at their pocket and they're looking at the menu to see what stuff costs?
Looking at the menu. Yeah. But you got somebody in the group that's enforcing this type of behavior, and that's what that lady put that tweet out there, because she didn't. It's like, why would you even? My thing is, if you just showed up for drinks and you just had a drink, then let somebody else pay for my drink and split the bill. Who ate and had a full meal? I give you $20 for this drink and be gone and whatever. Like, why would you make someone pay a part of that? This probably was a party of 6. They probably had several drinks. You could easily drink $50 before you even get to the appetizer and the entree. So it could be a lot of drinks, entrees, all that kind of stuff. That's not hard to reach to that amount if you had a party of 6 or 8 people.
See, this is to me. I'm sorry, y'all. I am very sorry, but this is just petty for me. It's petty because if God bless me to be able to help feed another, that is what I will do, and that's with no fuss or fight, no second thought about it, because I've done it many times. And my friend or not my friend or whatever the case may be, God has blessed me to be able to pay for me and this person now, whoever it was, because it's been done for me, and I can't do nothing but pay it forward. And a lot of my situation at work right now is, like, she's a people pleaser and she's this and she always buying this and that's just who I am.
But
I wouldn't even sit amongst a group of people that's having a conversation like this, because I would just say, you know what, I will pay for it, forget it, let's just move on.
Okay, Nathan.
You paying it forward is not the same as somebody coming with the expectation that you're gonna pay it forward.
That's between them and God. I'm not here to judge that person though. That's between them and God. Let God work with them. Lord Jesus, help them. Let me go ahead and do what God has blessed me to be able to do. I just live in peace like that. I'm not here to argue, fuss, or fight. I'm here to pay forward the blessing and keep it peaceful.
And I understand that, Jose, and I commend you. That's amazing that you're like that. But I understand what Nathan is saying, because I think people will take you for granted and take advantage of you to the full. They'll be the one drinking all the drinks and ordering the most expensive thing on the menu because they know someone at the table is nice enough to extend them a level of grace that they do not deserve and help them pay for that meal. But also you have to realize that if you know the people you're going to dinner with, why are you at the $1,000 meal location when you could be over here getting the 2 for $2? Ruben Tuesday. Why are we at the $1,000 place if you can't afford the $1,000 place?
Not only that, I get that whole, because there's work situations. A lot of us have been in work. So come on, girl, come on. And, it's payday. Let's go over here. But for me also, before I make that decision and say, I'm gonna go, I pray for discernment. It's real quick, boom, just like that. Lord, do I need to go with these people? Yes or no? Boom. And that's just my relationship with God. Should I go? Should I not go? Can I afford this? Can I afford that? Am I gonna be at more peace going to eat alone somewhere else? That's just
most times we are.
Look, if somebody gonna ask you, okay, we're going out to dinner. Okay, all right. You have to know that you have the money to actually go out and go to dinner.
Right.
Don't go out and you only got $20 in the bank. And you have to be prepared for that. And secondly, let's say you go out, you with this group, you go out to the group. First thing you do, if you don't want to be on that bill, go to the waiter or waitress, say, hey, I want a separate bill for my stuff. And so she'll separate the bill. So when that $1,000 charge come out, you're like, no, I got my own bill over here. Y'all go ahead and handle that. You gotta separate it.
And listen, I like what Ithaca says. This is why people ask, who all going? That's it.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's it right there.
Because if Rufus says, yeah, I'm coming. No, bro. Nah.
And
I'm staying at the house.
And everybody else.
DoorDash.
and Cuz and everybody else. No, who all going? So in any place, in any.
I do that anyway.
So
sometimes you get tired of people.
And I think everybody's family got that one cousin that always want to go, but they ain't got no money. And somebody say, "Oh well, I got you," and they order the most expensive thing on the menu. And then go ahead.
And then we're not even talking about the tip. That's just the bill. What about the tip?
Oh, the folks that don't want to tip. Oh, I don't like that.
No.
You just sat here and had your tea refilled 10 times, and you don't want to give this man $10?
Exactly. And I've worked in the restaurant, so them tips make a big difference.
Me too. Yes.
Those tips make a huge difference, y'all. So on that note, guess what? We are out of time. We are out of time. This hour and 4 minutes went by fast, though. I enjoyed myself, though.
Good show.
Yes, coming up next, probably I say 1/2 or earlier, we're going to have the after party. We'll talk about what we talked about on Tuesday Talk and some other things. And, we have some people who don't know how to act during these after parties, though. But, that's just how it goes, though. Come in and join us and have a good time. And if you think the after parties are bad, well, guess what? On Saturday, things are real bad on the Saturday night.
The turn up.
Yes. How many times the county sheriff had to pull up, just join us, okay? On Saturday, okay? And then, Lord willing, it starts all over again for another exciting whatever edition of Tuesday Talk. So make sure you join us. Leslie Roof, Nathan, Josette, Dewan, and Tamara. Thank you all so much for your participation. And the honor was all mine. So thank you all for watching us. Thank you all for your support. Thank y'all for everything. So if it's nothing else, Lord willing, we'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.